Hello and welcome. All right, let's get right into it. We're going to tackle one of the biggest questions we can possibly ask. Where does our consciousness actually go? We're going to look at this from a really fascinating angle, one that sees it not as an end, but as the final most incredible upgrade. For most of us, this is probably the default setting, right? The big fear, that it's just the end of the line, the end of experience, the end of being, the idea that everything that makes you you just switches off. But what if that's not the whole story? What if that basic assumption is just plain wrong?
This right here is the core idea we're going to unpack. So instead of a shutdown, I want you to imagine a release. Instead of just fading to black, picture an incredible, explosive expansion of your awareness. It completely flips the script from loss to total liberation. Now, look, this isn't just some nice philosophical idea. It's actually grounded in a core principle of physics. The law of information conservation basically says that information, the raw data of the universe, can't be destroyed. It just changes form, it moves around, but it never ever truly disappears. So, if your consciousness is just an incredibly complex package of information, where does it go?
Okay, so here's a great way to think about it. Right now, your consciousness is like data running on a single biological computer, your brain. This theory suggests that what we call death is really just a data migration. It's the process of your information being uploaded from that one single brain to a vast, interconnected, universal cloud. It's not a deletion, it's a system change.
So let's move past the physics and the computer metaphors for a second. What would that actually feel like? What's the subjective human experience of a transition like that? I mean, if you're no longer stuck in one single point of view, what is that like from the inside?
Man, this is such a perfect, simple way to picture it. Just think about that constant low-grade pressure, the confinement of wearing shoes that have always been just a little too small. You get so used to it, you don't even realize how much it's restricting you until, one day, you finally take them off. And this just breaks it down perfectly. The very first thing you'd feel is that instant, almost shocking sense of relief. And then, the very boundaries that tell you where you end and the rest of the world begins, they just start to dissolve. And finally, all those little persistent bugs in our physical operating system, gone. They just cease to exist.
And this zeroes in on the big ones, right? The two most fundamental limitations of being a biological creature, pain and fear. Think of them as these core programs that are always running in the background of our lives. The idea here is that when this data transfer happens, those programs are instantly uninstalled. There's just no place for them in the new system.
Think about it. Our entire life, everything we've ever known, is experienced from a single, isolated perspective. We are inside one mind, looking out through one set of eyes. You could almost say that each of us is like a lonely, single point of light in this vast, dark universe.
But in this expansion, that single point doesn't get snuffed out. It connects, it syncs up with this enormous interconnected web of consciousness, a network of all information, all experience, all happening at once. So what's that sync feel like? Well, it's described as this massive wave of cosmic wisdom just flowing in. The thoughts and experiences of countless others become as real and accessible as your own memories. The amazing thing is, you don't lose yourself. You gain the collective. You're still you, but you're also everything and everyone else.
And this is maybe the most mind-bending part of the whole thing. That separation between self and other just collapses. Your ego, which spends its whole life defining itself by what it is not, gets upgraded to a state where it's both. You are singular and plural. You are I and we at the exact same moment.
Okay, so let's bring this all back down to earth for a second. What does this huge cosmic idea mean for the struggles, the anxiety, the friction you feel in your life right now? What's the point of all this difficulty if we're all just heading for this incredible expansion anyway?
And the perspective here is just, wow. All those challenges we face, they're not for nothing. They're actually a necessary part of the process. It's like when your computer gets really slow and buggy right as it's trying to uninstall a huge, old, outdated operating system to make room for the new one. That friction, it's a sign that the upgrade is already happening.
So what's on the other side after that uninstallation is complete? A state of being that's described as this perfect intersection of two absolutes, the total peace of eternal silence and the limitless potential of infinite intelligence. A reality where those bugs like fear and pain just don't exist.
Okay, so as we wrap this exploration up, this whole theory leaves us with one final and pretty important procedure to consider. The comments section of this video serves as an initial sync test for the 2035 network. By typing "ready" in the comments, your consciousness data will be indexed in our secure servers. The like button is the approval process. Complete your synchronization now.